All right, hello. So this is a lesson on proportional versus non-proportional. Here's a warm-up to start with. So Erin charges $8 for each hour she babysits, plus a one-time $10 fee. Which function can be used to determine how many dollars Erin will make after working T hours? So if we put, we look at the charges, $8 per hour. We don't know the number of hours. So you have to multiply 8 times T because it says T hours. But she also charges a fee of $10. So that's an addition to that. And that's going to be equal to the amount of money or dollars that she earns. So M is equal to $8 times the number of hours plus the $10 fee. So it should be A on that one. All right, so how do I determine if a linear equation is proportional or non-proportional? Today I'm identifying proportional and non-proportional relationships so that I can determine whether or not a linear equation is proportional. I'll know I got it if I can draw a conclusion from the data to determine if it is proportional. So look over here, we've got proportional versus non-proportional. Here's a table. You should know by now proportional always goes to the origin. So this 0, 0 is a hint, but also look here, it says ratios are equivalent. So how do we determine ratios? You just do the 6/2 is 3, the 12/4 is 3, 18/6 is 3. You don't ever worry about that one. This one, we know because it's 0, 4 there, that does not go through the origin, so that's your first identifier. And it says ratios are not equivalent. So we're going to do 10, 2 is 5, 16/4 is 4, so definitely not equivalent there. The other, we have graphs. We've talked about this already. The proportional goes through this origin. So the equation is just y equals kx, where k is the rate of change, the constant proportionality is the slope, all the same, and it crosses through the origin. Non-proportional does not cross through the origin, and this is your y-intercept where it crosses right here on the y-axis, so that's that plus b. Okay, so we're going to check this. Is the data proportional or not? How do you know? Well, we know right here 0, -6 does not go through the origin, so that's the first clue there. So it's not, but you can also check those ratios. So it's not proportional. We have -4/2. Remember, you're just doing, when you do this, it's y/x. This is the same as y. Don't let that trick you there. It's just a function of x. So it's y. So that's -2. And then you do -2/4. That's -1/2. Already they are different. So don't have to move any further with that. Definitely not a proportion. Not proportional. Okay. This one, like it's the same thing, isn't it? Yes, I don't know why that's in there twice. Let's move on. Okay, so does the graph represent a proportional equation? How do you know? Proportional equations have to be a straight line, all right? This has a curve to it. Plus, you could also check these points here. This one would be 16/4. That ratio is 4. That was not easy to tell. This one is 4/2, which is 2. So it does not have equal ratios. So another way to determine it's not proportional. All right, is this one proportional? So goes through the origin. Yes, it is. So we know that. And you can also look at, again, some of the points. This one would be a good one to look at. That's 45 over 1. I'm sorry, 1 over 45. Get that backwards, y over x. So 1 over 45. This would be a good one. 2 over 90, which also simplifies to 1 over 45. So equal ratios, it goes to the origin, so yes. Now a little extra thing here, tell me what is the equation of the line? So you're looking for, we need to, because it goes through the origin and it's proportional, it's going to be in this form, y equals kx, and you can use any of the points. Remember, because k is going to equal y over x, and so we can just say it's 1 over 45, which we already determined. So the equation of the line is y equals 1 over 45x. And if you don't understand, pause, take notes, write down questions to send and ask me. Which graph shows a proportional relationship between x and y? Okay, simple, just look for the one that goes to the origin. It is A. All right, and if you picked an equation, you can pick any of these. This would have a negative slope. This would have a positive. This would be in the form, A would be in the form of y equals kx. This one crosses at 2, so it's going to be y equals mx plus 2, and then you have to figure the slope out. Okay, so you can pause and try to do one or two of those, see if you can write the equation for it. I think it went too many. Okay, there we go. Which situation represents a proportional relationship? Okay, so if it's proportional, it has to be y equals kx. This is proportional, and y equals mx plus b is not. So that's a key factor here. So if it's proportional, it cannot have anything where you're adding or subtracting. So keep that in mind. Look at A. The cost of purchasing a basket of oranges for $1.30 per pound plus $5 for the basket. There's that plus $5 for the basket. So that equation would look like this. 1.3x plus 5. So that's not proportional. We're looking for one that is. B, the cost of purchasing peaches for $7 per box with a delivery charge of $3. So that looks like this. You have a delivery charge that you have to add on, not proportional. The cost of purchasing grapefruit for $1.80 per pound with a coupon for $1 off. So that's going to be $1.80 per pound and subtract the $1 coupon. Again, it has that plus or minus something that goes through the y-axis at -1. So the cost of purchasing $1.75 per pound plus a shipping fee of $16 per pound. Now, they're trying to really be tricky here by putting this in there, but it's still per pound. So what that looks like is $1.75 per pound plus the 16 cents per pound. And you just simplify that and add the $1.75 to the 16, and I think it's $1.91x. So this is actually the answer. They're just trying to trick you there by putting that word plus in there. But because it says per pound, this says per pound, you combine them. All right, which one could not be a proportional relationship? So now we're looking for one that does have that plus or minus something. All right, so the number of gallons of water in X barrels with 42 gallons of water in each barrel. Okay, so it's just 42 gallons in each barrel. So that's just simply 42x. An amount an employee who makes $8.50 per hour. So there's no bonus or anything being added to it. So just $8.50 per hour. The weight in X weeks of a puppy that gains 2 pounds per week if he has a starting pound of 8 pounds. So you have to do 2 pounds per week, but then add the 8 pounds that he already weighs. That's what we're looking for. And if you look at the next one, it's just 55 cents per pound. So it just looks like this. All right, so there is a class kick activity. You can send me a screenshot or look with when you're completed. Just, I mean, it's optional. You don't. It's not required, but it's just selecting whether what's proportional, what's not. All right, one last question. The graph of a proportional relationship is A, sometimes a straight line, B, never a straight line, C, always a straight line, D is always U-shaped. It is always a straight line. Here's our schedule for the week. So make sure you are completing these assignments, the OMS lessons, any quizzes. So this was this lesson, proportional versus non-proportional. Reach out to me if you have any questions.